So welcome back. This is Barbara Tangs again with your PW training. So let's talk about now some non-routine situations. And in particular, we're going to focus on provisional ballots. So let me share my screen. So we call these non-routine situations that are obviously not the vanilla variety of voter. So if a voter comes in, and we just talked about a couple of situations of where a voter needs to vote a provisional ballot. This is going to be handled by the chief or assistant chief. And if it's a same-day registration type of situation, that could also be handled by the SDR specialist, SDR same-day registration. So they're making changes. We'll get that information out to you. But as of through the June primary, the provisional ballot was or the provisional ballot envelope rather was a two-sided thing. So one side was regular provisional, regular provisional envelope. The reverse side of that was for same-day registration applications. That is, voters who are not registered to vote but go into their home precinct on election day and want to register and vote in the same day, they can do that. So, but both ballots for both situations are provisional. And again, that means they're going to be reviewed by the electoral board. Same-day registration, new invention in the last year or so. It was just voted into law and went into effect in 2023. This is the same envelope. One side is just the reverse of the other. All of these then get, once the voter fills out the front side of the envelope, then that story and that situation is all put into the admin tablet by the chief or assistant chief or the SDR specialist. All of that data is captured here so that it's available electronically, and presumably that if the chief cannot read the voter's handwriting or has questions about what the voter indicated on the provisional ballot, he can get it clarified so that what he enters into the admin tablet is obviously clear information and legible information. The most important thing to know about provisional ballots is that the voter is not checked in on the DS200s, not checked in on the poll pad, and the ballot is not scanned on the scanner. The voter completes a regular ballot at the chief's desk, and you'll see a privacy folder usually at the chief's desk where a provisional voter could vote. His ballot is then put in that green envelope that I just showed you on the previous slide. And his situation is all identified on the front part of the form that has to be filled out. The chief keeps a log of all these provisional voters on the electronic provisional log or the admin tablet. They go into this a larger envelope that's called an A1 or 1A envelope that gets returned with the election materials later that night on election day. And if there's additional information to the situation of why the person is voting a provisional ballot, it could be that there was a court order that said, hey, these certain precincts can stay open past 7 o'clock because there was flooding in the area, or there was a very big car accident that prohibited people from being able to physically get to the precinct by 7 o'clock. That court order will allow those voters to vote after 7. But if you remember from prior lessons, voters who vote after 7 o'clock vote a provisional ballot. Something could change the judge's ruling the next day, and they have to have a way of figuring out who were those voters that voted past 7. Again, if there's explanatory materials, they get stapled to the outside of the envelope, and then these provisional cases are adjudicated the next day on Wednesday the 6th. They'll be adjudicated by the electoral board. Any provisional voter has the opportunity to present himself before the electoral board and explain what his situation was and why he believes that his vote should count. Once the electoral board approves ballots, then they can be scanned. And it's only then and only then that they can be scanned. If the electoral board does not approve the voter's ballot, then it has to be, the ballot remains in the provisional envelope. The voter is sent an information that indicates that his vote was not accepted and the reason why. So it's a detailed process, but it is a process, it works, and you're welcome to observe it. Now, I mentioned that new voters can register and vote on the same day. So when a new voter moves, usually the situation is someone has moved into a new precinct. If that's the situation, they fill out a registration form, and at the completion of that, they're given a provisional ballot to vote. And the same thing happens with the provisional ballot. It goes into the green envelope. It gets adjudicated by the electoral board, and it's decided, once it's decided by the electoral board whether it counts or not, then it gets scanned at headquarters. Because we've had some volume of same-day registrations, in particular to some precincts, usually around the university district where students are living in Fairfax County, but maybe they came from other places in the state. They'll register same day in the precinct, and they'll vote their ballot there. And they've assigned SDR specialists as a specialist EO to help on election day, just to help with the volumes of SDR balloting. We will come back in our next section and we'll talk about election day closing.